All right, let's talk about a huge invisible problem that's quietly costing businesses an absolute fortune. It's a problem that adds up to billions, but you're not going to see it on any balance sheet. We're talking about dirty data. So, yeah, let's get into it. You know this feeling, right? You get an email and they've totally butchered your name, or mail shows up for someone who moved out 5 years ago. Well, that little annoyance, it's just the tip of a very, very big and very expensive iceberg. So, what exactly is dirty data? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like pollution. Just like garbage and fumes pollute the environment, dirty data pollutes a company's entire information system. We're talking about any piece of data that's flat out wrong, has bits missing, contradicts itself, or is just old. And believe me, this digital pollution has a serious price tag. How serious are we talking? Well, according to the Data Warehousing Institute, U.S. businesses lose over $600 billion every single year because of it. No, that is not a typo. $600 billion. That's the staggering cost of bad decisions, totally wasted marketing, and operational chaos, all because the data is bad. Okay, so if we're going to clean up this mess, we first have to know what we're even looking for. It turns out dirty data really comes in 5 main flavors. Let's break them down one by one. First up, we've got the most blatant offender of the bunch, duplicate data. This is literally a carbon copy of another entry. When you see the same customer listed 5 different times in your system? Yeah, that. These are seen as the absolute worst kind of data contamination, because they just completely wreck your numbers and make everyone waste their time. Next, there's outdated data. Have you ever found the perfect report for a project, you're all excited, and then you realize it was published like 10 years ago? That's the feeling of outdated data. It's info that used to be right, but now it's totally irrelevant. It's useless for making any kind of real decision today. Then you've got incomplete data. And this is probably the one you see the most. It's a record that's missing some really crucial info. Imagine you're trying to sell some cutting-edge geolocation software. You pull up a hot lead, and their address is just NA. Well, where do you go from there? You can't. That's the kind of roadblock incomplete data throws up. Now, this one's really interesting because there's a subtle but super important difference here. See, incorrect data is just plain wrong, like a zip code that doesn't even exist. But inaccurate data, that's tricky. It can be correct information, but in the wrong place. For example, a package gets delivered to a real, valid street address, but it's the customer's old address. The data was real, but it was inaccurate. And that's a costly mistake. And this just shows you how widespread this thing is. It's not some small niche problem. We're talking over half of all B2B companies, and an insane 69% of Fortune 500 organizations say unreliable data is actively holding them back. So yeah, this is a systemic issue, for sure. And finally, the 5th type, inconsistent data. This is what happens when the same piece of info gets logged in a bunch of different ways. Just look at this example for vice president. If you want to send a marketing campaign to all your VPs, you'd have to search for VP, 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 and vice pres, just to get everyone. It turns your analytics into a total nightmare. Okay, I know, the problem is big, it's messy, it's complicated, it's easy to just throw your hands up. But here's the good news. This is a totally solvable problem. You just need to have a clear, proactive plan in place. The solution really boils down to 4 key best practices. Think of this as your playbook for achieving what people call data hygiene, and for turning that polluted digital mess into a clean, powerful resource. Step 1 is all about strategy. You have to start with a data quality plan. Before you touch a single record, you have to decide what a clean or ideal database even looks like for your company. You got to set some clear goals, some KPIs for data health, so that everybody on the team is aiming for the same target. Step 2 is all about prevention, because it's way, way easier to keep bad data out than it is to clean it up later. This means you have to standardize your data right at the point of entry. You need to create a standard operating procedure, an SOP, that lays out exactly how information should be entered. This makes sure only good, high-quality data gets into your system from the get-go. All right, step 3 is about using the right tools for the job. You've got to validate your data accuracy in real time. There are some amazing tools out there that can instantly check if an address is real, if a phone number is active, or if an email is valid, right as someone is typing it in. This is your first line of defense, and it's a powerful one. And finally, for all those duplicates that are already clogging up your system, the golden rule is this: merge, don't just delete. See, if you delete a record, you could be throwing away valuable history or context attached to it. The right way to do it is to merge those duplicate records, combining them into one master record that keeps all the useful bits of information. And this quote right here just nails it. You have to treat every little piece of data like it might be important down the road. By creating a master rule set for how you merge contacts, you make sure you're building a single, complete picture instead of just tossing valuable information in the trash. So after all of that, what's the big picture here? Why does getting a handle on this data problem actually matter so much? Let's tie it all together. So here's what you really need to remember. 1. Dirty data is not some small IT headache. It is a massive, multi-billion-dollar business problem. 2. It has a clear anatomy. Those 5 types we went through are the villains you need to be on the lookout for. And 3, and this is the most important part, you can fix it. A proactive 4-step plan isn't about a one-time spring cleaning. It's about building a system that turns your data from a hidden liability into your most powerful and reliable asset. And that really leads us to the final question you've got to ask yourself. You hear it all the time, right? Data is the new oil. Data is your most valuable asset. Well, if that's true, you need to take a hard look at yours. Is it clean, refined fuel that's pushing your company forward? Or is it just sludge, clogging up the engine and slowing everything down? The answer to that question could be everything.